What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, my friends. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. It is the 24th day of July. Yes, it's the 24th. It's a brand new day. We are minutes into this new day, literally like 2.5 minutes into the new day now. 118.7K is the price. And we did come up. We actually did, from the low points of yesterday at 117.3K, came all the way up. I did say that the low would be in at 117.5. Damn it, we're off by a little bit, but that's okay. We did come up. We came up by the end of the day. Not as much as I thought that we would have. I really did expect higher prices, but I'm assuming today we're going to get some higher prices. However, I don't assume that today will take us to new all-time highs. I mean, maybe on a daily closing basis, we get new daily high closing prices, but I would think that today probably what we're going to see is like a reversal of what we did yesterday, right? Where we came down to start the day and then we came back up to end the day. We might start this day on a positive note, although yes, we are starting it on a negative note as of now, but we'll start it on a positive note and then come back down at the end of the day. I do assume that what we're going to do essentially is consolidate in this range probably for the rest of this week, guys. I mean, it's Thursday, and at this point, I don't see us breaking out right now, and I'll go over that real quick, why I think that is, right? I don't think we're breaking out today because of this, very, very simply put, right? The daily RSI, if we're looking at this here, has rejected the overbought zone, okay? It rejected the overbought zone. Now, typically, when you reject the overbought zone, you at least go to the 60 in the RSI, which is right here. I drew it a little bit below, if not the 50, right? It's more typical to go to the 50 or the 55, but at least the 60, and we're not there yet. So I think that we do get another red day today. We probably wick. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if we saw higher prices than what we got yesterday. We clear out some shorts, and even the day before, right? Higher prices than either of those 2 days. We clear out some shorts, pile on the longs, and then we dip, clear out the longs, pile on the shorts, and then we rip perhaps sometime next week for that end of month rally. I feel like this will be the third month in a row that I've called for an end of month rally, and we didn't really. I guess we kind of had it in June. We did rally toward the end of the month, but we after a dump, so it was really more like a neutral thing, right? Like let's go back here and see June, right here. No, we did not rally at the end of the month. We kind of did here, and then we dumped on the 30th. So we did rally, and then on the 1st of July we actually dumped, but it's not really a rally. That's just kind of like consolidation and a little pump there. I'm thinking that this month, by the end of the month, we will have an end of month rally. It is the 24th today. We have including today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days left in the month. I think that out of those 8 days, the next 3 will probably, 3 or 4 will be boring, and then the last 3 or 4 or 5 should be exciting. Would be my expectation there. Let's get into the short-term stuff, and then we'll zoom back out to the long-term stuff. I just wanted to go over why I don't think we're breaking out today or probably even this week, right? Until we get down to the 60 or lower on the RSI. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but let's actually go back in time and just show real quick why this rejection off the overbought zone is not ideal, okay? Right here, right? Where did we bounce from? The 60. Did that hold? Did that sustain? No, we went lower. We bounced off the 50. In fact, we went to the oversold zone before we actually ever went back to the upside. Here, if we look at the price, whenever we rejected off that overbought zone was here. We did go higher, but it was a wick. We did get a higher price, but it was lower highs in the RSI, and we still went lower. So I guess we didn't move down necessarily, but we didn't break out really, right? We weren't breaking out here. This is a fake out, so it rolled over. I don't think that we're going to roll over like this. I don't believe that we're going into a multi-month consolidation phase or anything like that, but that's just the last example of rejecting the overbought zone. Here, whenever we rejected the overbought zone, we rejected it right here on this day, right here, and we came down for 2 days, and in those 2 days, we went down to the 51 on the RSI, where normally, again, you bounce between like the 50, maybe even the 40 or lower, but at least the 60, right? Here you rejected it and you went below the 60. That's just validating that point. One more time. Let's go for another iteration, all right? That's 2 in a row. Can we get 3 in a row? I would count that as a rejection, but we're not, and I would even count that as a rejection, and those are both proven, but let's be very specific. Here, we had that one. Right, here's a rejection. Okay, here we did not hit the 60, actually. Here we were very, very close to hitting the 60, but we did not do it. And still, I mean, that did allow us to grow in a short amount of time to higher prices, but even then, still, we did go lower inevitably, right? Rejecting the overbought zone here wasn't good, right? Each of these times, if we're looking at this here, actually, the rejections off the overbought zone are kind of ominous, right? I mean, hold on now. Before we get into the short-term stuff, just look at this real quick. From the high to the low, we dropped 22. No. We dropped 30% on that overbought rejection there, right? From the high, the very next high, or the proximate high, in proximity, the proximity high. There we go. From a high here, because this is the rejection off the overbought zone, to the low, that was an 11% drop. Rejection off the overbought zone over here. What did we do? We didn't drop as bad. This one is actually not as bad, right? But still, we dropped 7%. I think a 7% drop for Bitcoin would be kind of scary for the average altcoin right now. Here we dropped 13% on that rejection, right? Here, on this rejection, we pumped first, but then from that in proximity high, within a short amount of time, we dropped 10%. Within like 2 weeks, we dropped 16%. I mean, these are not, and then we continue to drop more. These are not good, right? These are not friendly drops. So with that in mind, I mean, maybe we get some kind of higher high today, right? But then we drop, what, 7% was the lowest that we saw? How much would that take us down to? You guys, that would take us down to below 114K, which, in all fairness, might make a lot of sense. Because we keep coming back to this idea. I don't know if it's going to work out. You know, I had my hopes and dreams surrounded on it at one point, but it's not a big deal if it doesn't work out. But there are a lot of longs to be cleared out at that 114K level, down to 114K and just below there. There's like $8 billion worth of longs, you guys, if we cross that 114K area. I'm just saying, the smallest drop we've seen from a high to a low was 7%. And that's if we top off at 122. If our high is barely higher than it was yesterday after this rejection here, what, we're going down to 112K? Which could also make sense, because we would back test our prior areas of resistance for support and then move up higher and clear out even more longs. If we went to 112K, you guys, we'd be clearing out, let's see, we'd be clearing out $11 billion of longs, and you best believe the shorts would be piled on at that point. But I'm getting overzealous here. I don't want to freak anybody out. Understand, we're going over the data, and this is just some stuff, the recent comparisons. This is not all the rejections in history for Bitcoin, but at no point am I actually concerned that we're going down to 112K. Now, if we did go to 112K, that wouldn't be concerning. That's okay. It's okay. We can backtest and find support. I don't assume that we're going to do that. But this is just, in comparison to the data, maybe I'm going against the grain here. But I don't think that's what's going to happen, because we are in a very bullish phase, right? We are in a very, very bullish phase right now, and consolidating, much like we consolidated back here with all of these movements where we moved up and then we consolidated. We went sideways for like a week and a half, up and then sideways for 2 weeks, up and then sideways for a week and a half, right? We're going up and then sideways. This is actually a very, very bullish phase of consolidation. It's known as a horizontal channel. And horizontal channels, you guys, typically like the odds are that they break out in the direction that the pattern is led into, right? So the upward direction is the direction that the pattern was led into. I doubt that we break out to the downside. Could we? It can happen. Just because this would be the typical expectation does not mean that it has to, right? Maybe we get some kind of fake out to the downside and then we rip. I don't know. But I would think that we move up today. I mean, we're coming back a little bit, right? We had a low already of 118.5K. We're at 118.7K, so it's $200. Not a whole lot to get excited about. But let's do the short-term stuff. We'll get into the long-term stuff here, okay? So 1 hour time frame, just looking at the price, right? I feel like it's very obvious that we are moving up higher, right? Because here you even had a kind of like channel, or I would call this an inverted roof maybe, like higher lows, lower lows. It looks like an inverted roof, and we're breaking out of it here. If you're looking at the 15-minute time frame, I think it'll be a little bit more obvious. If we're looking at this here, this is what made me think that we were going to move up, is that here you moved up, you rejected, here you moved up, you rejected, here you moved up, you diddly-dallied a little bit, but you rejected. This time, however, you're finding support at prior resistance this whole time. Doesn't this look different than this did, than this did, than this did? Different behavior begets different results, right? And if we're looking at the 15-minute RSI, you've been rejecting this area, but you're finding support at the 60. You're not rejecting the 60 now. Different behavior begets different results. I wouldn't be surprised if we went to the overbought zone. Again, correlating with the idea that I've just addressed, which is that I think today we move up first and then we come down to close the day, right? We move up to open the day, we move down to close the day. Will the day close green? Maybe. Will it close red? Maybe. I don't care. I think it'll pull down. That doesn't mean that it has to close red, right? We pulled up at the end of this day that we just closed out, the 23rd, and that was still a red day, right? That was still a red day there. Piled on a lot of shorts, or we piled on a lot of shorts, cleared out a lot of longs. Now we're going to clear out a lot of shorts and pile on a lot of longs and then do our thing, right? Coming back out here, I'm just kind of curious. I've done this measurement enough times that I should know it. But let's see, we broke out on the 9th day here. We started to consolidate. We broke out, I would say we started to break out on the 13th day there. You got up here. You broke out on the 9th day there. I don't know, how many days has it been now? We've got, would you call it the consolidation here? I guess it started here, right? We're on our 10th day now. So any day now, man. Any day. We could break out to new all-time highs. But I'm thinking it would make a lot of sense. You know, it's Thursday. It would make a lot of sense that we continue to consolidate until next week. And then maybe 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, those last 4 days of the month, if not starting Sunday, we'll start to break out and move higher. That would be my guess. I can be wrong. You know, guessing is not everything, is it? But that's kind of what we're doing here, is guessing. All in all, you know, looking at the daily RSI too, taking this, it looks like we've broken out of our uptrend. We've broken out of the uptrend. We've rejected the overbought zone. Those are ominous things, my friends. It's not necessarily a good thing, and that could tie in very well with some kind of masterful shakeout. But if we look at the short-term stuff, it kind of looks less scary, at least in my opinion. Right? It looks a lot less scary. If we're looking at the 1 hour time frame here, you've got a bottom here, right? You've got a low area of support right there, and you found support on this once, twice, 3 times. Now we've got higher lows here, finding support. Whoops, finding support right there at prior resistance. This is constructive, man. It looks very constructive. Whoops, I didn't mean to delete the indicators there. Not only is it constructive, but it just looks like you tried to go lower, but you couldn't. You're looking like you're breaking out of this range. Just this thought, this look here where you move down, you've got this consolidation like this and you're breaking out, I would think that you come back up all the way up here and you probably even go a little bit past it. I really wouldn't be surprised if we saw prices above 120K again by the end of today, you guys. Are we breaking out to new all-time highs? Again, I'm skeptical. But the 1 hour RSI, it certainly does look promising, right? We found support here at the oversold zone, went all the way up here. Found support in the oversold zone here, went all the way up there. Found support at the oversold zone there, went all the way up here. We found support right here, we went all the way up there. We are somewhere in between this low and the oversold area, and we're moving up. I mean, if we were to just put a line right here, we are at the lowest area on the RSI to find resistance after a bounce, right? It wouldn't make sense to turn around here is all I'm trying to say. I think that we would at least go up a little bit more, again, starting off the day on a bullish note rather than a bearish note. This RSI is super volatile. I mean, this is the epitome of volatility, guys. You don't normally you do not range between overbought to oversold, to overbought to oversold, to overbought to oversold, overbought over. You don't do that. You get in the overbought zone, you reject areas that are above the oversold zone, don't even get it. You get in the overbought zone again, and then inevitably, eventually, you get oversold, right? That's what happens. You don't go from overbought to oversold. You don't range like that, but you are ranging like that really hard right now, which is, I mean, just a testament to the volatility over the past week now. If we're looking at this on a 4 hour time frame, the 4 hour RSI is bullish. It looks very bullish. Again, different behavior begets different results. We've been in a range, little box, ping-ponging between the 40 and the 60. If you've traded based off of that, you actually would have killed it. You really would have killed it. All you'd have to do is go short once you're at the 60 or above it on the RSI, and all you have to do is go long once you're at the 40 or around there. You would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 opportunities, and now something different's happening, isn't it? Right, we're actually finding support at the 50. And the last time we did this, that was the highest reading that we had in the RSI here on this whole consolidation range. That took us up to about 121K. We might do that now. We might go, except we started from a lower price, we started from here. I guess we started from the same area. Maybe we go exactly to that 121K area, 121K, if not higher. Are there any things that line up with that? Would it make sense to go to 121? Here we are pulling back a little bit too. I need to get rid of the drawing lock. Yeah, the 1272 is right there. I mean, it would make sense to go to the 1272. I feel like we've been showing respect on the 1272 and the 1414 a lot throughout this range for various smaller time frames. But the RSI right now does look bullish overall. The ball is in the bull's court. You get above that 60. If you can get to the overbought zone, you guys, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're breaking out to new all-time highs, but we could be breaking out to higher places in this range. And then maybe we come back down, we consolidate, we form a higher low over here, and then we start to break out going into next week to end the month, right? Something like that could happen. Or the worst option, maybe not the worst option, but the lesser option, I should say, which is you move up and then we get a breakout of this range, but it's a fake out, and then we reject all the way down to 114K, 112K, something down there, and then we break out late into August. But that would, to do something like that, I think that we'd have to dump into the end of this month of July, and not that we can't do that. It's not on my bingo card. I wouldn't be surprised if we open up August to the downside with that being said. So if we're not broken out of this range by the end of the month, then there really is a strong case, I think, to be made that we do go below 114K. But it would be later. I don't think it'd be now. I think if we were to have done it, man, we would have done it already. We wouldn't have found support here, right? We wouldn't have found support time and time again at prior resistance, right? Higher lows each time. It looks like a triple bottom, but it's not. It's higher lows. Very systematic. And just this consolidation phase in itself, it's like a little ball, and you've broken out of that ball to the upside, man. You're going up. It's the bullish ball. Bullish balls. Big bullish balls. It kind of looks like a flag, doesn't it? Kind of. It kind of does look like a flag. I don't want to call it a flag. I don't think it is a flag, but it kind of looks like one on the daily time frame. You know, you look at the 4 hour and it looks nothing like a flag. Well, that's actually not true, is it? It kind of does. I don't know. Is it a flag? Is it a horizontal channel? Whatever it is, I'm sure that it'll break out to the upside. But first, a little bit more consolidation is all my thought is. Lowering the RSI down to the 60 does not mean that the price has to go below 116K. We can get a red day today, a red day tomorrow. I mean, we could get 3 red days in a row that all close above 117K, and that would bring the RSI down enough, probably below the 60 or more, to where we can reset this rejection and then continue moving higher. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes, but my expectation, again, just to wrap this up, is that all in all, Bitcoin's going to a miraculous price of 180,000 by the end of August. Okay, that's the expectation. If we're not there by the end of August, then we'll push it into September. Who cares, right? It'll get there when it gets there, and that's okay. Taking a longer amount of time is not bad, actually. It gives you more time to accumulate. It gives people time to shake out and sell, panic sell if they want to, FOMO in, all that stuff, right? The strong hands step in and buy. People who want to accumulate, the institutions of the world that they want to accumulate, that really will build strength in the charts. It's not a problem if it takes longer. But I do think, I personally think that it would make sense that we see Bitcoin hitting 180K by the end of August. I think that today we are going to move up and then come down. Are we going to close the day red or green? I don't know. I don't care. But we'll come up maybe as high as 121K, maybe 122K, and then we'll come down. We'll have a wick to the upside, probably consolidate into tomorrow and the next day and the following day. And I would think that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of next week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, those are the days in which we will pump. Until then, more of this stuff, more of this up and down and all around. It's really easy, right? It's actually really easy to get the TA down. Not that I got it in the first half, but the second half I feel like I've been pretty good, right? Oh, we're down here, we're going to go up here. Oh, we're up here, we're going to go down here. Oh, we're down here, we're going to go up here. Oh, we're up here, we're going to come down here. It's actually pretty easy. We're in the middle of the range right now, so I guess I'm taking a little bit of a guess saying that we're going to move up higher, but the indicators look bullish. So at least on the short-term stuff, they look bullish. So I feel pretty confident that what we're going to do here again, looking at the 4 hour time frame, I think that we will break out of this little range, but are we going to get above this high? I don't know. If we do, I don't expect magic to happen. I don't expect new all-time highs, but I do expect, at the highest that I could give us, I would think 122.3K could happen today, but I don't think we're going to go to new all-time highs today or even tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I don't know if you guys heard my cat meowing throughout this whole video. He's tenacious, but I'm going to go let him in. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your cats. Bye-bye.